Alright, my brave knights, let's do this. Princesses and princesses and all you others that are here. Let's do this. It's here. Also, there are Twitch drops. Although this is a recording, so I don't know how you're gonna get them.
Hello everyone and welcome at Ubisoft Montreal for this special edition of the Warriors Den, our weekly live stream. And today it's Year 3 Season 2 reveal, a lot of content. And in order to deliver all this great content, I drafted two of my colleagues to come on the show because I didn't want to do it alone. So allow me to introduce you to Justin Kruger and Michael Anthony Porazzo.
Oh, yes. What's up, man? That was great.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
sorry?
beautiful.
That was a great pronunciation.
Yeah, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
that was perfect. Yeah.
I've been practicing that for the past
It
25
sounds
years.
like you've been practicing it for a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
long
no,
time.
it's make me very proud.
Yeah,
Palazzo.
Palazzo.
Excellent.
That's, yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, with the
Honestly,
T. With
yes,
the T, yes.
Exactly. He
So,
knows.
so guys, welcome on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very
Justin,
excited.
your first appearance
This
on
is
the
my
Warriors
first
Den.
one. I'm so excited to be here.
And you
This
decided
is
to
so
start
cool.
with a big show?
Yeah, I started with a big bang, the big show. But I'm so happy to be here. The community has just been so welcoming of me, and I love them so much. So as everybody watching out there, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is so fun. I'm hyped for this show. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And Mike, people have seen you a couple of times on the Warriors Den.
Yes, I'm known for my PowerPoint presentations, as you know. I have a burning passion for PowerPoint. So,
We know that.
yeah. So today is going to be it's going to be new for me. Pretty big stage for this, but very excited. Great show,
Mike,
great
for you to
content.
get ready because next week you are hosting the show because I won't be here.
Oh, news to me.
That's news.
Yeah,
you
that
didn't
is
know that?
big news.
Yeah.
No, I did not know that.
Next week, Michael Anthony is hosting
Hey.
the Warriors Den
He
because
grows up so quickly.
exactly, I will not be in the office next week, so Mike will step in.
Fantastic. Great
So,
news. Great.
Have fun.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So that's why I drafted you to come on the show today because I didn't want to be alone. So,
Yeah,
Fair
of course.
enough,
And
fair
we're
enough.
going to be going over some amazing segments as well.
Exactly.
Mike, what are you covering this week?
Well, so I'm going into, I would say, the meteor part because as you're just starting out, we're going to give you art and narrative
Yes.
stuff,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Correct.
that's correct.
Yes.
I'm covering all the fluffy, awesome stuff.
Yes.
That goes into the character, the narrative design of Sakura. And,
No.
We've been practicing that.
Yes.
oh,
Okay.
We're going to say it together. Sakura. That's how you say it.
Okay.
That's
The
how you
end
say it.
gesture is very important.
Yeah. Sakura. And it doesn't even count if you don't put in the head
No,
gesture.
no.
So,
I
yeah.
feel like this is like For Honor ASMR.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
Sakura.
I don't see why not.
Sakura.
I really don't see why not.
It's good.
So,
We can start doing
Yeah.
that on our
Yeah.
spare
Yeah.
time.
Well, I'm going to be covering art, narrative, music. We got a really awesome special segment coming up later
Yes.
in the show. So you guys don't want to miss that. Mike, what are you covering?
I will be covering some great stuff. We're going to do a
New weapons,
demo,
guys.
obviously, with,
New
Sakura
weapons.
comes in.
New
Sakura.
weapons.
Come
So,
on,
gotta
guys.
say it with the hand. You're right. You're right.
Make an effort.
Sakura.
Yeah.
Said it. So we're gonna do a fight demo. Look at the moveset, all of the nitty-gritty details that you guys have been looking forward
yeah.
to. Not only that, but we got a Raider
Yes, and
and
Lawbringer
Lawbringer update.
improvements.
So talk about versatility, the Lawbringer. Raider. The Raiders got some great changes, so we're going to take a look at that.
Lawbringer
As well
got
as
changes.
The Canopy, which is the new map for this season.
Yes.
Wouldn't be a new season without a new map.
Exactly. It's an awesome new map, by the way.
And lastly, we'll be sitting down with Philippe Grégoire, who will be talking about some updates on Arcade.
Yes, Philip was on the show, I think, 2 weeks ago when we talked about Arcade. He teased about some of the updates that were going to come. So you're going to sit down with Philip today. And also, we have some of our community streamers
Yes.
in the house this week.
I'm here too.
Later on.
Yes, if you are looking forward to
boy.
some mediocre gameplay,
Mediocre
it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, and
It's
I
gonna
was,
be
not, I was not available for mediocre gameplay, so they took on Mike
Yes.
to do that. So we're gonna have
Hit me up,
September
Ubisoft. I want to be in. I want to be in there
our
sometime.
last seasonal stream in January. but also Daddy Law and Nikki Doe are in the house today.
Daddy Law,
They're
yes.
going to pair up with some of our devs, including him,
Yep.
and they're going to play on the new map with the Sakura.
Sakura.
Well, it's actually the
amazing.
Hitakiri,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
Hitakiri, yeah.
Hitakiri, but we'll
But,
say Sakura.
yeah, these streamers are absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
they're
We
a
got
blast.
a chance to hang out with them last night, and if you guys are in chat, you see them on stage, give them some love.
Yeah, they're great.
Give them a lot of love, and because they're really excited to be here. We're pumped to have them here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And before I let you go to get ready for your segment, guys, we had a small announcement to make about the
What's
progress
this?
of For Honor. It's been 15 months now since we released the game, and we reached 20 million players.
What?
So 20 million players on For Honor.
Amazing.
Congrats. Thank you very much, everybody, for your support through those 14, 15 months. I'm losing count right now. So it's great to have all those people in the game. Thank you. Thank you very much for the
20,000 players.
we are very, very thankful. So
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. You know, I'm new to the team, but seeing this,
I'm one of
team and
them.
jumping right into it. They've been amazing. They're
Yeah.
so passionate about this game, and the fact that there's 20 million of you, it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So, guys, I have a good show. I
Thank
have a
you.
bit of housekeeping stuff to do before you can come back. So, a couple of things to know on this show. And yes, the roadmap. Yes, we have a roadmap for the season. We had Vortiger season in January. Right now, we have Sakura. So, it's the Itokiri, male and female. Later on this summer, they're going to be a new Viking hero. And after that, a new Woolen hero in the fall.
I'm going to be there for
Some
that.
seasonal events
I'm going
that are
to be
going
there
to
because
come,
that's the guy I'm looking
ongoing
forward to, is the guy with the hammer.
So a lot of things happening in this third year. And a big stream like that, would it be a big stream without some Twitch drops? So there will be Twitch drops today. For every 30 minutes of accumulated viewing time, you are getting a scavenger crate and also a chance to win 100,000 steel.
Nice.
So you can link your account with Twitch, give us a good 24 hours for everything to be processed in the system, and then you can take advantage of it. Also, we want to thank our friend at Logitech, who supplied us all the nice gears that our people were going to play with today. So thank you, Logitech, for the amazing gear. And we're going to be right back with Justin, with Roman Camposorilla, our creative director, to talk about the narrative aspect. So let's take a look at the CGI reveal of Sakura.
Basically, for all of you that are curious, crates are 500. So you're basically getting 500 steel every crate. You've seen this trailer. It's awesome.
You no longer need to suffer. I offer you peace and salvation. Be not afraid. Your soul is now mine.
Woo! If that's not awesome, I don't know what is.
Welcome back to
Hey.
the For Honor Year 3 Season 2
That's
live stream.
Roman.
I'm sitting here with Roman, the creative director. How's it going, man?
Really good, but what happened to your hair?
Oh, it's, you know, I grew it a
Seems to
little
be
bit.
really shorter, like, no?
It's
Oh,
beautiful
sorry.
now. It's I have hair, you don't have hair, and we're about to talk about the narrative design on this beautiful character, the Hitokiri, the class of Hitokiri, and Sakura, and the male counterpart as well. How you doing, man? You doing all right?
Really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
it's pretty
excited to get
awesome.
into this?
Definitely, and I'm really excited for the Itokiri.
Yeah, it's
It's really
such a
cool hero.
unique and beautiful class. I can't wait to learn more about it. So why don't we jump right into it? Tell us, who are the Hitokiri?
So the Itokiri, they start to go a bit crazy or they stop. For her, it did not destroy her. she found her true calling into doing that job. And basically, she's death. And death is a gift to the world. So that's the mentality of that character. But at some point, she arrived in her hometown, in her former village, and she had to execute a guy in that village named a fisherman named Ryoichi. And at the moment she was to execute him, she raised a mighty axe and she snapped. And the next moment, she sees the head of Ryoichi running at her feet, and she turns, and actually the whole village is dead. She had slaughtered them all. That's the character. But she did not feel any remorse for that.
That's scary.
She actually felt the power of the spirits. And she thinks that when she kills somebody, she actually sucked their souls. And so that's why she had all that collection of weird, creepy puppet heads on her belt.
That's where the souls are being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At least that's what she believed.
That's creepy, man. I'm not gonna lie. That's scary. That's spooky. I love the mythos around here. There's so much mysticism and spookiness around her. Obviously, with the character design, but hearing the depth of her background, that's so incredible. Yeah.
And so she continued her journey, and she abandoned basically her duty as an executioner, and she just started being a full-on psycho killer, I think.
Full-on psycho killer.
But at some point, she faced a Master Kensei, and he actually defeated her. But instead of killing her, he saw the true potential that she had.
That's right. Kenseis are overpowered.
She basically recruited him into the samurai army and turned her into an Itokiri.
So that's how she joins
exactly.
the game at this moment. That's amazing. Before we move on to her male counterpart, the Yato, I want to quickly go over a few of the things that you've been talking about, because this is deep story. This is incredible, and it sounds like it's evolved over time, and really this story, this character background has evolved way more deeper than in say year one when we release a character. So how has that process for you evolved over the past few years?
So it's something that we started with Marching Fire, and then that we continued with the year 3, the year of the Harbinger. It's basically previously at the launch of the game, when we were making character, we were creating these units. We are creating those heroes that the player would embody, and the whole backstory and world and universe will go into the campaign and the narrative of the game. And now, as we move forward and that we really commit in the life of the game and continuing to push the multiplayer, now we are injecting that backstory. We're continuing to evolve the world, but we're injecting that story into the character, because the characters, the hero, is your main way to interact with the game. That's you always see your character in the game, and so that's where we want to put the story.
So building the story around the character and not just sort of slapping nail to an entire faction or so. So that's really awesome, really cool. I'm excited for the future of it as well. What kind of inspirations do you take for a character like Sakura?
So for Sakura, we, like any fighter, basically we started with the axe, with the weapon. For her, it's the axe. We were like, okay, so that's a massive axe. Of course, it's not really historically true. It's a weapon that existed, but they were not really using it into battle. So we were like, okay, what type of character could use that? And that's where we started to go with the fantasy of the executioner, but we needed a twist. We wanted to add a little bit more mysticism in it, and that's how we started with Sakura.
Very cool, very cool. And Sakura is not alone in this. We have another Hitokiri to go over, the male Hitokiri, the Yato. So explain the backstory of this guy.
So Yato, the Hitokiri, so is the male archetype. It's the male character of the Hitokiri, and is coming from a really famous executioner clan. And he used to believe that he would do anything for his clan. In him, there was no pity, only duty. And its duty, it made it look like an art. People were coming from every town in the region to see him execute and do his dirty. So he became really famous as an itikiri, but he actually had another job. He was working for his family. He was some kind of assassin, and he was eliminating all the other powerful people in the other family in the area in order to promote his family and help them rise to power. That's the type of character that guy is.
That's super cool. Super cool.
But at some point, his father tasked him with killing the daimyo of the area. And his father organized everything. He set up the moment, he bribed the guards, everything in order for Yato to go and kill the daimyo. So, red moonlight shone into the room as Yato crept on the sleeping daimyo. He raised his massive masakari. Blam! Oh, there's no blood. What happened? And the
I
dolls...
like the sound effects.
Yeah,
That's good. That's good.
I'm doing
Solid.
that all day.
Yeah, I hope those are the actual sound effects in game.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
It's the execution
Yeah.
sound effect, you will see.
yeah, that's good.
But so the doors open, and the daimyo is here with his father and all the guards, and he was actually set up. He had been fooled by his father because his family started to fear him. They started to fear his power, and so they thought they had to take him out. And that's the moment where all the sense of duty he had felt died in him. But he felt no fear. He was like, okay. And he killed the daimyo, and he killed the guards, and he killed the other Itokiri, and he killed his father. Because he is the strongest. And he felt no remorse about it. No one could change him. And so now, Yato vowed to fight no other cause than his own. He is going to bring death to everyone that stands in front of him, that stands on his path. And for the moment, he's fighting with the samurai army against all of their enemy. That's the guy.
That's awesome. That's super cool to hear the backstory of these two characters that people are going to be seeing all throughout this show, and that we're going to be doing deep dives into for all these things. Roman, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for being here, and I really appreciate it, man. That was awesome to hear you talk about all the deep narrative behind these two characters. And speaking of that, we have a lot more to cover. We have the character design coming up as well, the hero design with Christian Diaz and Andrew M. They're going to be joining me on this stage right here. But once again, thank you, Roman, and we'll be right back after this.
See you guys.
Yes.
And welcome back to the For Honor Year 3 Season 2 reveal. I'm joined by Christian Diaz, art director, and Andrew M., associate art director. How you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. So during this segment, we're going to be going into all the details about how these characters were created and where you guys started with designing this absolutely beautiful characters.
Thank you.
The visual design for it is absolutely incredible. So I guess let's get right into it, and why don't you guys tell me, where do you guys start when designing this character?
So it all starts with a great story, very inspiring. So the narrative that was given to us was really great, and the first process is going through some sketches.
I like that
where
one.
We tried
This
to
one here.
define some key
Don't know if you can
elements.
see my
We think
mouse.
About the executioner, we tried to dig into the
This
collective
one here,
unconscious,
like this one.
and this is where we try
This
to
one.
find key elements.
This one's pretty cool
and
too.
then we take one concept and we focus on this one, and we move on.
So we're taking a look at all the different art designs, all the different concept art that you guys focus in on, and then you choose one, and this is the one that you guys kind of focused in
at the
on.
beginning, even if there's some other sketches where you think, it's a good set, we focus on one and to define the key elements, the language.
This is the one that was fitting the best on the narrative side. So we chose this one, and this is the refining stage. So this was almost there. We're kind of happy with the design. And where we were kind of focusing is the things that was hanging around the belt. Previously, it was a skull. And then we were kind of looking for something more creepy. And then started with the shrunken head. But then it was not fitting the right culture. So now we changed it into a Daruma doll head. So it fits the character. Another thing is that he was wearing the ceremonial costume. So we had to refine and clean up the design. So that's the last result of it.
Yeah. So the final frame is the sort of more refined, more fleshed out character.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And the mask is this emotionless mask was also a key element for these guys.
I think the really interesting thing that you mentioned when we were chatting about this character earlier is the lack of emotion on the face, which is what really is stunning to most people.
What he's thinking.
Yeah, you don't know so you project your own thoughts, and those thoughts may be.
It's more scary, than having a mean figure.
Yeah, you project your own thoughts as to what this character is actually thinking when he's chopping heads off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So next one is the male and the female, the Yato and the Sakura. We gave him long fabric clothing. So when he and she are attacking with the huge axe, there's a good movement around it. So that's
a very agile character.
Yeah, I think we see that a lot in this character, the duality of the armor and the giant axe. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Axe, we can come back on the
later
part.
Sure. Sounds good.
Let's move into just a tease because we're gonna be checking the.
Look at this one here. This one looks like no face.
Just to bring your attention on different flavors that we were trying to find. I really love the second one on the left, which has some kind of Japanese punk rock vibe to it.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It looks like he'd be good in a mosh pit.
Oh, exactly. Absolutely. We'll be checking these ones later.
And definitely there's inspiration of one of the animation Faceless Ghost.
Yeah, a little nod to Miyazaki.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, I called it.
Cool.
This showcased the player expression. What is really good with this character is that we have a big canvas. So if the guys who want to play with the player expression, paint patterns, colors, and all that stuff, this is the character for that as well. So, and if you want to play it blank, it's also possible because we didn't force any paint pattern on it.
Nice. So you can really customize her to your liking.
A lot, and it shows off a lot.
So, mask is another identity for this Sakura, and this is what's under the mask. So, for under it, we still wanted to keep the cold, mean, and merciless look of it. So, when she takes off the mask, we can kind of see that, okay, she's still scary. Yeah, and we still kept the kabuki makeup. So there, when she was doing the ceremonial thing, the execution, it kind of fits the character.
But here you can see the anger, the hatred, the
don't feel comfortable
death that
looking
lives
at it.
in her. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable looking at this character.
She's not nice.
No, she's not nice. Not nice at all.
And we have the Yato, the male version, with my favorite set. We also he has the prayers of the Hitokiri tattooed on his face. So at one point, I guess some people will translate that for sure.
Okay.
If not, we'll put it somewhere, maybe on the website, because it's some cool. So
there's a little bit of lore integrated into the tattoo.
Exactly.
It's not a gibberish that we just
okay. So keep an eye on that. I'm sure the community is already deciphering it.
Yeah.
And the ornaments.
Ornaments. Yeah, tell us about the ornaments. They're on the arm. So what
exactly,
does that mean?
We did it with the black prior. It was working great because it's a nice position where it changes a little bit the silhouette of the character.
Right.
But especially it brings a lot of possibilities
No one cares
and
about
freedom
ornaments.
on the head because we can go from small. There's less constraints.
Unless they're good.
So it's perfect.
Yeah, it allows you to have a little bit more of that customization design on the headgear.
Exactly.
Cool. Yeah, we're going to be taking a look at that a little bit later on. These guys will be back up here. We're going to be going into the build, taking a look at all the different customization, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But there's also one more piece to sorry.
Exactly.
So lastly, back onto the weapon. So we have a Masakari, which is the battle axe for Japanese.
Oh, I love these
It's a
axes.
unique weapon.
Oh
You don't
yes,
see
I
them
love
often,
them.
But then it really fits the character. It's very.
And the Masakari is a real weapon. You guys.
I like the red one, I like the blue one.
Liberties.
Yeah.
We have a lot of axes in the game.
I like
and,
all of them. I
and for
actually
this
like
one,
almost
for
all of
example,
them.
we came up with the double blade, which the character is kind of heavy, and it was also a way to place some weight in there. But for the concept artists, for example, we have a lot of surface. They can knock themselves out just because it's a big surface, and they can be very creative.
Nice.
So we'll check them out later.
Yeah, we'll be taking a look at all this stuff.
Yeah.
We'll be taking a look at the customization of the Hitokiri a little bit later on. These guys will be back with me, joining me a little bit later on. But now you guys have the stage set of the Hitokiri. You know who they are, what they look like, and how they were designed. But now you're going to see them in action coming up right after this. Mike and Stefan Jawinski and Francis Faubert will be back up here going over the details of how these awesome characters combat and fight in action. So thank you guys so much for joining me right now. We'll be back right after this.
Now with our local fight experts, Stefan Jawinski and Francis Faubert. You
Fight
guys
experts.
know Sakura. You guys know Yato. You know how they've been designed. Now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty details, the ones that you've been looking forward to. And it's a fight demo as to what to expect as a player playing the Hitokiri. So guys, let's dive right into it. Can you tell us a little bit about this character? Before we get into the real details of this, how can you describe this character?
Oh, that is cool, the way she holds that
When we look at this
axe.
character, a lot of times we think about this character as relentless, unflinching, and a tyrant.
Sounds like great descriptors.
They're pretty cool. I think you see it through the character. Relentless, it's able to attack. It's got a lot of cool mix-ups and a lot of variability. The unflinchingness, you'll see it in the uninterruptible stance, aka super armor, and ability to trade and survive. And Tyrant, yeah, once you face one of these on the field, you'll know why we call it that.
Yeah, I'm already scared of the character just looking at this key art. So, you know what I mean? Like, I can only imagine once we get into the game. So, why don't you guys take us through the actual moveset and a little bit about the go-to combos that players could look at playing the Hitokiri for the first time?
Sure. I mean, this is your big chance to screenshot, so I would say grab this.
Yeah, let's freeze frame right here.
Yeah, perfect.
Take some time.
All the stuff in the set.
Very slow, very nice process. Excellent.
Hitokiri is our samurai heavy. And we thought it was really interesting to go with a heavy. When we look at the axe, it's big. It implies a lot of strength and power. And then we saw that as extended into the character. The character needs a lot of strength and power to throw this axe around. So that's how we think of it as a heavy in this case. And we'll see that through the character, yes with the super armor, yes with the feats. It's all about being the executioner, getting big executions, and then trying to snowball that into a strong defensive unit.
And so if I may interject, what do you see in this weapon, the Masakari? How does it influence her moveset, and how does it make it different from different characters?
So a lot of when we build a character, it stems from the weapon, right? This weapon wants to chop people, right? It wants to get executions. So we're like...
It looks like it.
Yeah. So how do we get this character to get executions? So as Francis is starting to throw a few attacks, we're seeing heavy chain, infinite heavy chain, variable times heavies throughout the chain, culminating, of course, in fully charged unblockable heavies, all of which can be feinted at any time. What does that mean? The fun and the correct thing to do when playing this character is throw a lot of heavies.
Okay, so you have to play. Do you think that you have to play a more aggressive style to be an effective Hitokiri player?
I think so. You'll be able to attack. You'll be able to also trade with the amount of super armor that you're seeing there. But because of the variability in the timing that you have, similar to Shigoki, for example, you can really mess up the opponent. They won't be able to parry you reliably, and you're going to go and hit and hit and hit, and that's your game plan.
And in terms of team fight, what role do you guys see the character taking on? Is there a specific composition that may work with this character, a play style or role that they should be taking on, starting off with this character?
For us, we very much see it as like an aggressive heavy, right? Whereas Shugoki very much wants to sit on a point and hold it. This one has a bit more ability to sit on a point, force you out of a point, push around a little bit, transition between like B and C or point B and C, for example. But once you get those executions, then you'll start to get a little bit stronger. We'll see a little later on, and really become a menace on the field. So let's kind of go through the fight kit here. Basics can open with a light or a heavy. And once you start, you can infinitely go through a heavy chain. As you're seeing here, you can end it at any time with a light finisher. There you go. You saw
That's scary.
there.
That's
Light
scary.
finisher. So again, heavy opener has super armor. So bit of options. Whenever you need super armor to trade in a group fight, you have some attack that can do it.
Yeah, and going back on what you said in terms of the actual fight style of this character, it's kind of interesting because it's a heavy, as opposed to the Shugoki where the body is maybe heavier. This time around, it's actually the weapon that's like dictating the moves, right?
Yes, definitely. Whereas here, the weapon is heavy and this character is strong to push that around, use momentum, and really put her body into it. And you're seeing here, like, especially when she charges those unblockable heavies, start to get a bit more.
And already people are calling for nerfs. This community is amazing.
But anyway, this piece here, I want to show the importance of, yes, the heavies can be feinted, even when they become unblockable. We've shown that?
Finisher? Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. The heavies, we've shown the light finisher right there. Yes, is not interrupted on block. So you end up neutral with the other opponent at the same time, meaning you should be able to attack again with your super armored lights or sorry, super armored heavies, if that makes sense.
It does.
Okay, perfect. What else do we have in the kit? We have kick mix-up. Inside the chain, you can do a kick at any time. If it hits, it guarantees you're heavy. So
Excellent execution, by the way, Francis. Just really excellent.
Even though
So,
yeah.
she's
So
a
heavy,
she
free,
can kick you.
Kick into free heavy. That's a cool thing.
She has a kick into free
You
heavy.
can charge the kick, which I'll do here, and it becomes a sweep, which gives you a free light opener, and then you're back inside the chain again.
I always have trouble with sweeps, whether it be Valk, the Shaolin. It's just a mess on my side. So this is going to be another thing to avoid, I guess.
And you're probably going to be unbalanced a lot of the time against her, so that'll be fun. What else is cool about the kick sweep? If we charge it and then cancel it with B, you can then guard break or light attack or whatever you want afterwards. So
a lot of options.
Ton of options
Nice.
throughout the character at all times.
In terms of 1v1, do you think that she's a very strong character?
I would say yes.
Okay, nice.
I think against most people, it's going to be doing some good work.
Not good news for me.
No.
But, okay. All right.
Well, unless you take her, then you'll be fine. What else do we have? Outside the chain, we have zone attack. Hits a pretty good range and has quite a bit of forward movement. As well, you can do dodge forward heavy. Also has quite a lot of movement in it. So you can control space. If you were feinting something with your kick mix-up or your heavy mix-up and they decided to roll away, that's something that might be able to stop them. So that's pretty cool. We can show sprint attack as well, because I always forget to show sprint attacks, but we got them anyway.
Nice.
So that's pretty awesome. And I think that's the extent of the fight kit there.
That's awesome. And so, obviously, the character is not complete without its feats. Should we go right into it?
Yes, let's do
Because
it.
I know the feat 4 is pretty interesting. You take a look. I got the chance to take a look at this, so it's going to be really cool. Why don't we go through
So
those?
we want to keep in your heads that it's about the executioner. She's an executioner. She wants to get kills. She
Select
wants
souls, all that jazz.
all the cool stuff. And we want to show the heaviness of the character through these feats as well. So let's cue up the feat number 1. And we'll see that what it grants you
Waiting on Max right now.
is while you execute, you get super armor. And while you execute, you get a shield that fills your life bar. Or that is a full life bar's worth of shield.
So no interruption when she's executing an opponent.
Exactly. This applies to any execution.
Wow.
Yes, so
I feel like
current
that
ones-
is going to be super useful.
It is super useful, yes, because you see this Warden can't stop her with heavies.
Or Warden.
Minions, so pikemen and soldiers will not interrupt you, so you can execute in the lane, which is
Beautiful.
super cool. So yeah, cool utility.
Nice. Let's head over to feat 2.
So feat number 2, she's going to mark an opponent. They'll become revealed, and if she or any of her allies executes that opponent, everyone nearby will get HP regen. So watch the Hitokiri's health bar and heal.
Wow.
Yes, so it applies whether Hitokiri does the executing or whether her ally does the executing.
And does she need to be within a certain vicinity?
Yeah, you might have seen like an
Yeah, the
AoE
little
kind of
bubble?
go out. Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So you have to be reasonably close by,
Okay.
but in a group fight.
Enough
most
to
people-
collect the soul, like a safe distance.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it.
I'm back.
I get it. Makes sense. Let's
Had
head
to
over
get
to
food.
feat 3 then.
Perfect. V3. So, boom, she gets the execute here, and she gets a defensive buff. That's indicated by that cool glowing green stuff around the heads on her waist. And you see the little defensive buff.
Execution, though!
She's a 30% damage debuff.
So it's
and-
not an actual shield. Oh, it is.
No, that's a tier 1
Okay.
is applying the yellow shield bar to her, and the defensive buff stays on
Okay,
afterwards.
so she takes less damage once this feat is activated.
Exactly.
Understood.
Forever until she is killed.
Okay, wow.
Yes. So her goal is get on execution, become strong, never die again.
Collect souls again and just grow stronger. All fits with this character. So let's head over to feat 4, which is really, really cool. I really like this. So why don't we show the tape?
Feat number 4.
Yeah, that's right.
200 damage.
200 damage.
Basically
What?
one kill.
Is that a
What?
mistake? 200 damage.
No,
you said,
that
right?
is
What?
correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
and that is on one character. Is there a purpose? Is there like damage that's going to be inflicted on other characters that are surrounding
What?
this beautiful move, this acrobatic move that I
It's-
wish I could accomplish?
She
Thankfully,
can
single
insta
target,
kill
so
with her.
She's only going to kill whoever she's focused on.
Okay, so it's like a guarantee.
Guaranteed. It's pretty much guaranteed. However, the opponent could have a shield bar, damage, resistance, like Hitokiri's tier 3 feat, could apply a damage debuff, attack debuff on the Hitokiri, so you can manipulate her damage to be a little less, and you could theoretically survive it.
But chances are you're pretty much finito.
Oh boy.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that I think about does it in terms of presenting the tools that are available to players with this character. I will get to experience this firsthand because actually right after this, we're going to do a first exhibition match with the community and devs where you will see, again, some mediocre gameplay of a Kensei. So just get ready for this. It's going to be awful. So thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you again for the time. I think it's a really sick character, and I think players are going to be excited, and you guys are going to get to see it in action with our game of Breach, and then we have Tribute later on in the show. But for now, I'm going to throw it off to our caster booth. We've got Guillaume Couture, our world-famous dev here, who just...
Hello and welcome to the For Honor Year 3 Season 2 stream. My name is
It's these
Vince,
guys
and I'm
again.
joined with Guillaume, the game designer, on For Honor. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing super well, actually. I'm very excited to show this new season. Bunch of stuff, very interesting.
You guys missed out the amazing calling that we had from Michael just before the segment cut. Fortunately for me, the people at home did not get to hear it, so I got my dignity saved there.
Yeah, my presentation was a bit, it was a bit more,
a bit more elegant
interesting.
compared to
Yeah,
mine.
for sure.
Today, guys, we've got a Breach game on the night map, and we'll
It's
be
a samurai map.
The samurai map, completely got it wrong. The samurai map, and we'll be showing off the new hero that you just saw in the previous segment. We have got the two teams. First of all, the Vikings win again, and the faction war forecast. We have the teams mixed up with the devs and the streamers that we've brought along to today's event. With the Vikings win again, we have the notorious, the notorious Big M10, who is Michael. You saw him earlier on in the show. We got Pick Alex, one of the legendary game designers on For Honor. We have Nikki, who's the streamer joining us on Vikings Win Again. And we also have the legendary artisan bread maker, Kitties, on Vikings Win Again. And, of course, a diverse team here. And we'll also be looking at the other team, which is the Faction War Forecast. If we can cut over to their graphic there. We're joined with Setbacks, Ricardo Flick himself, beautiful man. And we've got Daddy Law with a beard that is so majestic that honestly makes me pretty jealous.
He has to tie it up because it's too majestic, right?
It's too much.
He has to contain it.
We got Nuke there, who's he's kind of showed his stuff in the previous stream.
Oh, yes, a regular, very skilled, honestly, quite scary.
We're joined by a new contender here. We got Vicky, who, is very intimidating on the battlefield. I have seen her play previous when it's come to the actual practice, and, man, I don't want to go against her.
Yeah, she's been on the project for a long time, so she knows how to play, for sure.
And looking at those teams, we have a couple of people that we've seen here before. What do you think is going to happen in this game?
It's actually very interesting, In terms of, I tend to root for Alex because he's like a pretty solid player, but I've seen some very nice team play from both teams yesterday when we were doing the rehearsals, so I'm not too sure what we're actually going to see as a result. Of course, the Big M10, also known as Product Manager, also known as Michael, also known as Loud Kensei, is going to be showing off his skill, and it's more entertaining than impressive, but you want to be there for that.
To be honest, I don't want to be there for that one. Especially.
You don't have a choice. You're locked in.
I'm kind of forced. I've got some arm cuffs keeping me onto this chair just to watch the Big M10 perform.
Oh yes.
On his legendary Kensei that he's been talking about for the whole stream.
I heard that he faints sometimes.
He faints sometimes.
Yeah.
See, I didn't realize he knew the button layout of the game. So we're just waiting for the contenders to load it into the game. It'll be interesting to see what the other players will pick. We do know Kitties will be playing Sakura or
the Hitokiri.
Hitokiri, there we go. I was not confident in my pronunciation ability of that character.
It's okay, I got you, man. I got you.
Flashbacks to season 5 where I pronounced your name wrong the entire show.
It's fine. I almost forgot.
He's never forgiven me, truly. He's never forgiven me. He'll never forget. And we also have Setback on Sakura. They've had a lot of hands-on before the actual before the stream today, so hopefully you get to see some high-level.
Sorry about that.
And it's
ever since I did.
It'll be interesting to see how both.
Ever since I did my stunt
learned it with the quite limited amount of time
with the Lego thing, my mic's been loose, and I'm trying to figure out why.
Interesting combos with other players and other heroes.
I'm really enjoying the actual design of the character. And here we go, the loading screen. Just look how badass the character looks.
She's even pointing.
She's pointing out her enemy, and she'll most likely destroy them.
Yeah, well, she's just saying, "I'll execute you."
Exactly.
That's
the whole thing.
awesome.
We've got Kitties, as we said, on the Sakura. We got the Big M10.
I want to be in there. I want to be sitting in one of those chairs.
And we also have Pick Alex on the Raider showing off the revamp Raider, which has not been covered just yet. But
yes, keep an eye out. Try to guess what it is.
Keep an eye out. If if you spot the changes, then plus 10 points for you. And maybe we can also talk about, guys, there's also Twitch drops activated on the stream. So be sure to link your Uplay account with your Twitch account for the chance of winning some scavenger crates or a big chance of winning that 100k beautiful steel drop, baby.
All right, let's go see what the players are saying in the Vikings Win Again, just to see how they're setting up this game for now.
There to help you.
Oh God, it's not going well.
God.
Okay, this is really not going well.
Oh my god, Nuke is so good.
Yep, no,
Yikes.
no, definitely not.
Who plays Bushi this mean?
Execution
already.
Why would I grab that? Oh my god, what was that?
Oh, unlucky, alright.
That was really weird.
I'm gonna mentally...
He just drops it on him!
Let's try that again.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
How are we doing here? Okay.
Nikki, if you want to head to the Ram.
Alright, I'm going to the Ram.
Oh, I love that sword.
Coming in with a brand new attitude.
I can't say with the gold sword.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
After that team wipe, I'm surprised Kitty still has a smile on his face.
Yes, they're a very optimistic team, and that's what I love about them. You know, the big M10, what he lacks in skill, he makes up for in positive energy.
And team motivation. We just hear Nikki going up against setback on the Sakura. And she just, she counts her pennies and backs off and comes back for another fight.
Quite a dangerous opponent for a Berserker, may I add.
And we can see here just a heal point captured by setback, but the archer point at point 2 is heavily contested here. And we have Kitty just going up against the officer, trying to capture this point and give his allies some much needed support.
It really seems like the Vikings win again. They're not going to let this point being taken.
We're going to try and protect this at all points. We've got Vicky there on the Vortiger. Still my favorite character in
Oh, yeah?
I love the Vortiger.
He looks good, for sure.
He's just so badass. Just edgelord till he dies.
Did you know that he can actually pancake flip the 4th feet of the Hitokiri?
No way.
Oh yes, you can.
This needs to.
Nice.
Guys, whoever produces that video first will get a scavenger crate from me.
Well, yeah.
There's a scavenger crate for this one. Okay, we just have the mirror matchup here. Sakura versus Sakura gets the heavy and the execution lands, and there we see that feat being put to good use, whilst the counter on Sakura, but to no avail because of that invulnerability.
Nice
That's just
theorization
mean.
that you have to
That's
do
just
there
mean.
As a Hitokiri player.
No, not my Kensei. Oh, it's a Lawbringer.
But is it really worth it? For now it was, if you look at the numbers, but it could have went the other way easily.
And we can see here the Kensei going in this 2v1. He does love a dodge heavy. And
The Lawbringer is getting reworked in this season. So is Raider.
Revenge, but Setback just pulls back.
They mentioned him.
No point wasting your time on a Kensei when he's nearly dead.
We can see in the main lane we're seeing quite an amazing work from Nuke with his. It's honestly terrifying Nobushi. He's been playing her for such a long time, and man, I'm intimidated every single time.
It's unanimous with the name. You know, the Nobushi might as well just be added to his name. There we go. Bulwark stance on the Sakura, and the heavy just lands. Lets it rip, and the execution is brought.
The sound of that execution is so good, man.
I'm just scared of his character. I'm intimidated. Just the sound, if you guys can pick it up in the stream, you can hear the idle sound of the Sakura, and also make sure to notice the animation just before the execution that she's available to do.
Amazing. We're going to see some work from the actually recently reworked Raider. So let's see if you can spot the differences.
Yeah. I really want to see if we can spot the differences. Whilst they try and spot the differences, let's take a listen into the faction war forecast in this lineup.
Kensei's healing on the point right now. They're super low.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, good res. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to grab a tribute. Just put it down.
Nice.
Yeah, he's gone. Nice.
Nice. Boo, Alex!
Let's go. Alright, we got the Ram. I got Berserker on me. I died versus Berserker behind.
Yeah, I'll go revive you. He's distracted. Nice.
God. Yeah, you can get the revive.
I got it.
The ID has us.
There you go.
Once again, Vicky was just really intimidating there. I was scared in their enemy's place.
Also, big shout out for a setback for the sportsmanship of laughing out loud at his opponent as he kills him.
Yeah, that's just the nature of setback and being a high-level gamer. Beautiful parry there on the Sakura. Another mirror matchup here. Gets the guard break into that side heavy. The unblockable just about lets it rip. And also we see another character that's had a little bit of a rework. So hopefully we can see if anyone can also spot the changes there. Of course, Daddy Law and his signature character is in this 2v1 matchup. And support comes from Nikki in the form of a Berserker.
I want to see the Lawbringer able to open you up.
Basically capitalizes the team to be able to wipe those pesky attackers.
Guard break successful there from Daddy Law, getting the execution on Kitties, and the artisan bread maker just falls to his death.
It's quite a badass name. You know, you wouldn't think so, but
look, I'm telling you, the artisan bread that guy makes. Yeah, just go check out his Twitter.
Ooh.
It's a beautiful bread. What a kick to demobilize the big M10. Oh, the heavy lets it rip out his stamina. Can you believe this, ladies and gentlemen?
That was nice.
that That's not going to be enough. You know that out of stamp tech is not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough to.
The hyper armor just proves a bit too powerful there for the Tensei, and the cauldron drops on the ram. The ram's not taking much of a beating. It's still in very much a safe position.
The shield is still available, so we can see that you know, defenders having a tough time actually stopping that ram in his tracks, so it can accumulate damage from the pikeman. Right now, it looks as if it's gonna go through the gate with not that much health lost, and probably gonna get healed back to full once it goes through.
And we just have kitties here going up against.
Wait, the ram gets healed back to full once it gets to the gates? Huh.
Game over. You're meeting up with the nuke.
I didn't know that.
Another kill there for the attackers, making sure to have a secure point on the ram and letting it rip.
Setback seems very comfortable with that Hitokiri, I must say.
It's a lot of mix-ups here coming out from the Setback himself, Ricardo Flick, beautiful man, and just trying to clear out the last point to make sure that the ram is not damaged by the cauldron here.
We have the big M10 trying to contest the cauldron. It's going to be a 1v2 for him. Let's see how he can manage it. If he can get that Lawbringer down, he might have a chance, but at the same time, Setback has made him a sworn enemy, so I don't think he's going to let him run away from there.
Daddy Law gets a beautiful impale bear into that top heavy, and the unblockable lance to get that execution.
Let's go see Vikings win again's impression of Michael's performance.
Sack of shit.
Nuke is cursed, so he's taking a lot more damage.
Setback. Can't deal.
What? Oh shit! I really
Oh,
thought you
here's
hadn't figured out. Yeah, I was looking at your screen, so I got killed.
Okay, I need it ready up here.
Got it. Nuke's out. Nuke's out. Yes.
Where should I go?
I don't have any stamina. I have no stamina.
Ladder. Slide.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh, this. Yeah, no.
Trying to come as soon
Come on,
as
let's do
possible.
this. Bingo. Bango.
Let's
Here we go.
go.
Bing.
What a god.
Here we go. Oh,
What a god. What a god.
This is no joke. Oh, damn it. Oh, no.
What will we do without you, man?
I'm getting way too confident.
I'm coming.
Bingo.
Wait for it.
Here we go. Oh.
Wait.
Oh, no, not Setback.
Anyone but Setback.
Had enough of your bleed, Naboosh.
Wait.
Oh, sorry. No, you don't need a heal. Fuck. Shit. Who the hell heals? Oh, nice. Huge res. Huge. Biggest of res.
Mini pog.
Here we go.
This is great.
Oh, Nuke,
I need to heal and go over to
Oh,
5.
come on. Bingo.
There's a Ubisoft. I want to sit in one of those chairs.
Man, this guy is wild.
If you really
I recorded For Honor. You should.
Just seeing
You should.
discover all of the.
Me and my buddy Tyler. We need to be in those chairs.
It really does. Nice parry there from the Setback, the most hated player on the Faction War forecast, it seems. And the forecast is almost looking clear for the attacking team so far. They've got a lot of tickets, and they're doing pretty well in getting this round moved up to the second gate. Once again, the Tensei just falls down, you know what I mean?
I am hurting.
They're gonna have to pick it up because right now what they're doing is they're just staggered to hell and they're trying to come back, but they're trickling in that team and they're just getting dominated every time. Oh, we see a reverse situation here with Dadula being isolated by 2 players from the faction war. The Vikings win again.
He didn't even need to heavy. He just went for the guard break side light for the BM.
At the same time, you want to go for the heavy with the Hitokiri. You want to get that execution as much as possible.
Yeah, they should have, the Raider made the mistake of not letting the Hitokiri get the kill there. And once again, a fight at the healing point. The most contested point of this game so far. It's very important in the second stage, especially where it's positioned when it comes to its actual objective prowess and the objective... what word am I looking for? The objective cost?
Yes, exactly. And for this map, this point of healing.
Okay, so what I've seen so far is the Raiders' lights are faster.
Than all other maps. Might just be placement. We'll ask Edgard what he thinks of this.
Well, we got a 3v2 situation. Let's cut over to
Oh,
the
can't
War
say.
forecast and hear what they're saying.
Here comes! Oh!
almost.
I'm getting the
Almost.
That's 3 for you.
Executing. Officer, head in place.
I'm out of stamp.
Come on, kiddies.
Yes.
Just roll forehead. What are you doing?
What?
Wet noodle.
Thank you.
Alright, let's go. I'm going back to the lane.
Healing.
Watch this skill.
Coming to 5, coming to 5.
Oh.
Okay, LGB for your LGB.
Well, the grunt of relief there from setback
Yes.
once he got the kill.
That sounded like a pretty satisfying execution, if I
Ooh.
say so myself.
really is. And what else is satisfying is this new tasty lawbringer we're seeing on the battlefield.
Yes.
But you'll learn more about that one later, guys. You'll learn more about that one later.
Yeah, I'm disappointed because even with Raider and Lawbringer, I don't think we've seen anything that would hint at what their reworks is. So it's going to stay a mystery until we actually show it up.
Maybe a bit more eager-eyed viewers are noticing a bit of the changes there. The Impel just lands on the Kenzie. A very powerful.
Oh, that's zone.
The Lawbringer's kit.
Did you see how he spun that? How he spun that?
Fight here.
He is wailing those heavies once again, giving Setback another kill, and the defensive buff, the damage reduction buff is a big help there for the Sakura.
The Itokiri definitely has some immense staying power with the Howler feet combination. That's a lot of healing, and that's guaranteed execution to also heal you.
I need to see someone landing a 4 feet here.
Yes, I can't wait until they actually unlock it.
They're gonna
see if someone is able to, land that in a clean manner.
You saw there the Lawbringer getting interrupted. .jpg.
Oh, was it during his impale?
It was during his impale. I think it was during his impale.
Yes, so the more keen-eyed viewers probably detected that doesn't usually happen.
Just the versatility there. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful. And you can see
Dude.
getting well on Prox Revenge. Trying to aim for the Hitokiri, and he's just wailing. He is just
Dude.
after heavy.
Dude.
Killing the Black Friar. And
got carried away there. He just
Dude, that was scary.
He was really seeing. He was seeing red, as
Yes.
they would call it in the MMA industry. He was just seeing completely red. I don't know why it's referenced MMA.
I mean, it's a nice reference for a fighting game, don't you think?
Okay, that's true. Okay.
That's fair.
That is completely fair. Now you can see the Sakura with the speed of 1,000 miles. He's gifted with the boots of swiftness, and he's going against Pick Alex here on the Raider.
That's going to be a very interesting duel.
A very interesting duel indeed.
He's going to leave because of the reinforcement coming in.
Because he's being like, I've teased too much. I better run away from the Raider. I want to keep it for later.
And also joining his buddy on the healing point, Daphne. And they're going to try to take on this team on the healing point.
Oh, there we go! The execution is beautiful kill there from Setback. And I'm telling you,
that is ridiculous.
Just something straight out of a YouTube free-running compilation.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like it's ultimate parkour execution right there.
I want to see a replay of that with Alan Walker faded music on top of it. That's what I want to see. And let's hear the excitement coming on from the Vikings win again.
Just gonna back away here. Oh.
I
Okay.
believe in you.
Nope, you shouldn't believe in me. This is not, no.
Luke is almost dead on mid, but...
Wait, I'm coming.
I only have feet 2 unlocked. What a joke.
Are you kidding me?
Such poor gameplay by my part.
I like how all Daddy does is run around and impale.
I just want you guys to know I'm doing my best.
I'm not going to look at the score.
Terrible.
Feet 2. That's all he has to show for it.
That's all he deserves.
That's all you deserve, buddy. We have kiddies here just respawning. Oh my god.
Just do it.
I really want to see what was going on in his decision making there.
He just got carried away by the parkour execution, and he wants to relive it times and times again. But just come back on that execution with the 4 feet. Let's just take notice on how the team actually placed it properly. The way it's you're guaranteed to land it, so you have one teammate distracting it, and you just pop it, baby. Go ahead.
It is slow, but in the ganking situations, you can definitely utilize your allies for another one land on Mickey there. And the adrenaline I feel every time I see one of them land. I hope chat is also feeling the same feelings that I feel inside.
All right, getting set back to
Dude.
full team. Let's see. That's a revenge.
Dude.
Revenge there. Heavy lands on Nikki. Nikki just pulling back, knowing that she is against a formidable opponent.
That is in the form of setbacks. Hirokiri.
Setback just won't die.
Again, 10 here, just trying to get the guard break.
Daddy coming in with the superb help right on time.
Ooh.
Super help and with those top lights, tries to go side heavy, but then realizes that the Hirokiri is in this invulnerable state and you're not going to do anything whilst she's dealing with her opponent.
I don't know which team I'm rooting for right now.
On his part. The team came in quite hard to help him and might have been actually a nice payoff in the end.
Vicky just playing the dodge game there, gets the shield bash into that top heavy, devastating damage on setback. I mean, Kitty, sorry. He does proc revenge, but the second gate is down and the defenders are falling back. Beautiful. That dodge timing there from Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Calling him Daddy feels very weird.
It feels appropriate.
I feel like I'm being looked down upon. The long arm of the law lands, and that side heavy follows up.
Oh, these parries are just delicious to watch.
Conservative enough to proc that revenge every time without, actually just turtling.
Sorry?
Basically trying to chip down those enemies as much as he can, waste their time, and just basically
these
keep
parries
them
these people are doing are just delicious.
The commander for as long as possible. The attackers are in very nice position with 31 tickets, and with 12 minutes 30 to go, what we have to see is either a knockout or a massive comeback from the defenders in terms of killing power.
You see that top light? That was a nice top light.
That's a nice top light.
That's a nice top light. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's kind of fast compared to what it was. I don't know what happened there.
Some would say that. Bring out the frame data freeze. What a kill there by Setback, falling back to the point of healing there.
Gotta give a shout out to the
dude, that 4v1, he's almost slaughtered all of them.
They're gonna have a hard time winning this.
I'm a believer. I'm a believer here.
The underdogs, right?
I always vote for the underdogs in these situations. Kitties and Setback are really showing off the Hirokiri in a very, very good fashion here.
Yes.
Really displaying the potential of this character in either 1v1 situations or 1vx situations.
I'm very interested to see Nuke face off against those two opponents. I said his Nobushi was terrifying, but...
Oof.
Me wrong right now. I'm disappointed. Come on, Nuke.
Destroyed. You saw
Welcome to For Honor, where ganks are a thing.
There. So if someone gets an execution on Nuke, there will be an aura of health that will be delivered to the defending team.
And it would be right at this moment that the whole team would get healed and would be able to maybe push back on those attackers and maybe hold.
This is so cool.
Trying to go with Sidewinder is unsuccessful. Goes for the little poke there. I like how we just feinted out of that. Gets the side heavy there on Nuke.
This is good.
And
Kitty just owning that healing point.
Oh!
He has a teammate coming in, interrupted that
stampede charge. Now that's
interesting.
That's a strange one. Knee to the face there, lands on Setback.
So let's see what the Faction War forecast is saying about this. They seem in pretty good position.
I'm just a lawbringer.
Yeah.
Healing point.
I'm just
My face.
Lawbringer.
Oh!
Let's go, Nicky.
Yeah, shit. I just
squeeze me. Okay. I have tier 4. I wouldn't drop it on the commander.
That's... Oh, they want to drop the tier 4 on the commander. That'd be beautiful.
Fight in the commander spot
That'd be
here.
beautiful.
Vicky just trying to take out these two allies, but...
Yeah, the cohesion of the Vikings win again is just super good at this point. They're all together, all full HP. The attackers really tried to do a first push, which, by the way, let's highlight how long it took for them to do actually a push on the commander. That's 3 minutes with no pushing. They obviously have the side lane now, so maybe they were trying to set it up properly to make sure that it went through.
The best thing that the defenders can do right now is play for time. If they can hold them off for 9 minutes, which might seem like a daunting task, but I believe. Just as I see this Raider getting completely executed.
Very disappointing performance by Alex.
We just have a 2v2 here between the Hitokiri and the Nuke's Nobushi.
Ooh, she missed.
Instant dodge right there, and it's gonna proc the revenge.
So elegant there by Nuke.
Did a really nice job of occupying those defenders.
Yes.
His team was
Get him, Kensei.
which is really low on life right now.
Oh,
is that going to be it?
execution.
Yes!
Oh, the commander. That's what we wanted to see by setback. And it was beautifully delivered.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Every big game shall end like this now. Just a
That's
200 damage
That's
right in
it.
the face of that commander.
That's it. You don't end the game unless you have 4 feet and you're going to use it on the commander, okay?
What a lot of takedowns.
Wow.
And setback.
Look, setback, he just seems unfazed by what he did there.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at that daddy law with that beard. Yes.
Hey everyone. So what a nice performance by our
That was
both
awkward.
teams. I'm kind of disappointed it wasn't closer. Honestly, I thought it would be a better challenge.
So did I, but once we saw setback on the Hirokiri and just showing the prowess of that character and how he utilizes the moveset and all, of course, the feats of that character, we saw maybe 3 executions coming out from the 4 feet from setback, and it was utilized well. He used it at points where it seemed most efficient. He didn't use it in 1v1 situations where you probably will not land it because the wind up for that, it is a very telegraphed attack if you didn't notice already. You know,
there's like a few flips in there, and
yeah, few flips. You know, something out of a Jason Bourne movie. Eddie just landed the attack at the end, but using on the commander, I didn't expect him to use it on the commander. I think he saved it just to show.
I think
he
saved it. Yeah, yeah. It's
he
to
knew
show off.
he knew what he was doing.
It worked. It worked. So shout out to this.
It looked really nice, and it's like at first, of course, I did say that I do enjoy the Black Power, but I've had some hands-on with his new character, and it is a character that feels like he's a very punishing. She's a very punishing character.
Yes, it's quite a different. It's quite a different playstyle, honestly. If you're looking for some kind of change of pace with the characters you try, it's really a new feeling, even compared to like the Woolan class, which is, you know, let's say all those heroes are somewhat fast. With the Hitokiri, we're kind of exploring something different, and it's really nice to see in action.
And
people are already saying she's OP.
Hirokiri and the animations and also the sinister voice that you hear in the background.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys picked it up from the stream, but it's absolutely amazing. And you'll get to find out more about the
In fact, I can hear them now.
We look at where we speak to Christian, Anthony, and Andrew, and Justin to talk about the customization of the new
Ooh,
characters.
we got customization.
It's so good.
Welcome back to the For Honor Year 3 Season 2 live stream. That was an amazing showcase. Thank you guys so much for tuning into that. That was your first look at the Hitokiri live in action. Amazing combat play, except for Mike.
Mike was good. Yeah.
Mike tried his best.
Yep.
Yeah. I will give him an A for being hilarious, but an F for his gameplay. Once again, we are joined by Christian, Andrew, and Anthony is coming on the show right now because we're about to take a look at the customization that we alluded to a little bit earlier. So you saw the Hitokiri, you know where they come from, you saw them in action, and now you're going to get a look at what they look like in a game with all their different outfits and customization items. So why don't we jump right in and get right into it? Let's take a look at some of these outfits. Why don't you run us through us, Christian?
First thing first,
Yeah.
these are this is not the idol of the our heroes.
Right.
These are the warden type of idol, so that's why they look a bit weird. It's just for to mention that.
Just for visualization.
Yep.
Yeah.
As you saw it before, there are variations of helmets.
What?
It's one of the,
What is this?
Inspiration of the.
What is this?
Faceless ghost. And there's
Oh, sad nose.
So you can
So
see
this
it.
is the Tengu mask.
Actually, it's going to be successful. It's a very successful.
Wow.
Cool. So
Wow.
Where do you guys? Obviously, you're drawing inspiration from traditional Japanese.
We do bring
That hair.
and also from
That hair, though.
tradition and from all these different cultural icons. Where do you bring it? Where do you really drive?
Oh, she got little. She's got
So
little.
basically,
She's got
we
little
can
elk
collect-
ears.
We collect from everywhere.
Little elk horns.
Antlers,
you
our
idiot.
character To maximize the, to bring the right culture and the right feeling of the character. So that's we take it from everywhere and see how can we push it and bring it into our For Honor world. That's the thing that we are trying to do.
And here we're seeing, taking a look at some of the images that we saw earlier with the Japanese punk rocker there before, and this guy with this really cool, like, almost looks like a Game of Thrones character or something like that from
it looks
from
like
Parth.
the guy over there looks like a parcel, really well packed. You know, with the it's one who has all the laces, the rope. But these ones, we were trying also to give different flavors. You know, in the silhouetting, we didn't want to focus. Also, we didn't want to make these guys in the military guys, because we had this image where we like to project stuff in our mind, and we had this. Imagine the lone cowboy getting into a town. You know, you don't know who he is, but you know bad things are going to happen. But this would be the guy.
Yeah, because they're running through the forest. They need to travel light, and they're going from town to town, just killing it.
As soon as they come into the town, you know that death is coming.
You could say he had a bad hair day.
Death is coming, and obviously we see the tattoos on the faces once again.
Yeah, I can feel my subs leaving my channel.
Really cool. So, what's the process in creating these? Where do you start?
It's with the story.
Yeah.
The story is really the starting point. Then we start talking about, okay, what could be the key elements if we think about.
What is with that mask? That's worse than the Kensei's mask.
I love his funny nose.
For sure. That's why he's gonna be very successful.
His nose is just giant.
I'll take that one though. I'll take the no face.
We find some keywords, and then we have our character designer who starts sketching stuff. On this case, it was Guillaume, and then you know it's
Guillaume
like
must have been drunk when he did the nose
have
one.
Some good leads, and one element brings to another one, and then we try to create.
Obviously, it's a collaboration with the whole team coming together and
absolutely.
Figuring out what's the best way to make this character stand out. Obviously, we see that mask, that standard mask, where there's that lack of emotion, that lack of feeling. You can really feel that death within this character.
And the ceremonial, the feeling of it. Another thing that people were...
No one would take you seriously with that nose one, but I might do it just for the giggles.
Traditional metal of a samurai. So it's up to the point we were using the wooden material for the samurais. But this one actually has a lot of traditional black metal around them. So it's not the majority of it, but then there's a part that is protecting him.
So you play with a little bit of the textures, the materials that
the
are
combination of materials and mixing around. So there's cloth that will be floating around, but then there's a heaviness that you can kind of really get protected.
And that's an intentional design, right? Where you wanted to have that light feeling, but with this heaviness to it.
Right.
And I think that's emblematic in the axe as well, where this character is wielding this giant axe that doesn't look light.
We didn't want to make the character too heavy and also carry the heavy weapon. So there's a good emphasis on the axe.
Yeah. Make it feel mobile, as we saw with the execution. She's flipping around and you know using that axe as like just a shovel to like hit. Like I'm just imagining a cartoon character to like shovel in the face. Yeah,
the shovel. That's the name we used on the floor. Yeah, that's
good.
Right.
Yeah.
And and also trying to bring a new flavor. So the structure of the outfit, and not bring too much of the armor. We had already some characters with quite some armor, and we wanted to try something different, and it was fitting the type of hero that when we read the story.
Yeah, and obviously in that story you have the heads that we discussed as well. Obviously we see the customization of those heads vary from outfit to outfit.
Right, each set has a different type of Daruma doll, or on the set 3, their set you see the actual mask with a different expression. So even though you don't really see his face, there's a different expression that is happening inside of his mind. So he's not a right guy. He doesn't have a right mind.
He's not a nice guy, and obviously that's reflected in these heads where he's keeping his soul.
Kind of
amazing stuff.
There's no paint patterns right now. They're just blank.
Okay.
There's not even a color, team color there, but as soon as the player will customize these, there will be the team color, so they will pop out a little bit more. But if you don't want to put any paint pattern, they will look basically like that.
They will look just like this, and but then you can customize it a little bit further.
We're trying to put a lot of attention and effort on bringing something that is like a blank canvas, and not forcing different things like the paint pattern, so the player can really play with something like that.
Honestly, I like this
outfit as well. Earlier, we were discussing this outfit, and you mentioned that by putting the ornaments on the arm, you're able to have a little bit more freedom with the mask, because this is obviously the one that deviates the most from the pattern. So tell us a little bit about the technical challenges of or technical freedoms that you actually have by moving the ornament to the shoulder, to the arm.
Something that we couldn't do up to the point, we could now start doing it from the Bordiger, is since we put the ornament on the side, we have freedom of putting anything, any shape, any size of the helmet with the different silhouette that can create. For this one, he has a very tight armor, and then on top of it we wanted to have a big helmet, so there's a contrast. From far away you can see like a very interesting silhouette that you can kind of create, but we couldn't do it up to the point. So this was opening our options on the design.
Your options to actually create some really cool looking artwork and head designs like this.
Correct.
The punk rocker that we've been calling it. I'm sure it has a real name. Very cool. Very cool. All right, well, I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much for showcasing the outfits and the gear that people are going to get their hands on for the Hitokiri.
Gear?
Don't go anywhere because we got the map showcase coming up, taking a look at Canopy with Mike, Nico, and Ed. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be right back after this.
Ooh. Where's my pizza? What I was trying to use was, where is my pizza? It didn't work out. Because I pressed my own mute button, which is my mouse button, on one of my mouse buttons, and those cats.
We're joined now with our friends from the map team, Edgar Orlando Oliva and Mr. Nicolas Blanchard. How are you guys today?
Very good.
Are you guys excited to showcase what we just saw as a preview, the new map, the Canopy? Can you tell us a little bit? We're going to get into the build and be able to see it up front, close and personal. So why don't you guys start us off?
Sure. So first of all, I want to mention that this is a Gobo map. So it was produced by the studio in the UK.
Nice. Yep. Well, thank you to the work from Gobo.
Yes.
Yeah. So Canopy is it's actually the name of the thematic, I would say, because in this map the players are gonna play into what we could call like a secret Japanese monastery, kind of, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a very secret place inside the mire. And they actually built that place. It's a very religious place that is like built inside the canyon. So we're gonna discover that together. And to actually reach that place, you have to go through the entire forest of the mire. So here we're showing you the Valkenheim version of it.
Yeah.
So it's a different vegetation, but if you play in mire, you are gonna feel like the swampy, you know, environment. So this is basically the entrance, and for the purpose of the game, obviously some people managed
religious places murder each other in it.
So they broke those doors, and now you have the first entrance, and you can see like those big Japanese statues. And here you reach the heart of the map.
Like every map, this map is absolutely breathtaking, but really, really beautiful job.
Yeah, the guys did a crazy jobs. It's super. Actually, when people are gonna play the Mire version, it's even more visually
That's your favorite
interesting.
one?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Really.
Nice.
So I'd like to mention that this map is playable in Tribute, and of course Elimination, Skirmish, Brawl, and Duel. So it was specifically designed around Tribute. So I think this map plays exceptionally well.
So what kind of playstyle would you expect for a Tribute match for this map?
So as you can see, the map, this bell tower serves as the nexus point of the map. So all paths kind of lead into it and out of it. So you'll see that there's a lot of zip lines, a lot of ladders, many.
Did you see that the 5-star thing? The 5-star thing unlocks all your abilities for a few seconds.
Back and forth. A lot of the paths
So,
lead to confrontations.
But this character,
especially on a tribute map, you're going to see a lot of back and forth
something
between offerings.
Especially with the zip line, making it much easier to kind of go catch up to the opponents that may have an offering in hand and be able to kind of surprise attack them. Do you have any tips before I go in and play the tribute matches later for this map in terms of that
Run
stuff?
fast.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah. And the thing is that it's super open. There's not many indoors, so you can really spot everywhere from wherever you are. Like you can always find people. So either like taking the zip lines or ladders, like he said. So it's a very fast-paced type of map. So very dense in navigation. And actually, we built that map around that feeling that you are everywhere you are. It looks dangerous. Like you can be thrown from every part of the map. We wanted to give that feeling to
every part of the map.
Not everywhere, but like in few.
But enough
few
opportunities to let.
Yes, but that was the concept behind the map. That you are like you are up in the air, almost like fighting on the skies. On those giant trees.
Looks like a pretty severe drop. I agree.
Yeah. We called it canopy, but sometimes we don't even see the canopy itself. It's so solo, in the vista.
And there's some really cool locations in this. The landmarks really stand out. So you have this giant praying tree on this side, with the bell tower in the middle, and on the other side you have a shrine.
Yeah, so you have that big sacred tree with those lanterns. So even when you are super far, you can really see it well. It's we made sure that we have enough space to fight, so we have those big platforms that's been.
That's nice.
You have the beautiful little homes on the side as well, as I could see. Very
quite perilous to get home, I would say, after a hard day's work.
I can imagine, eh? I didn't even get there.
I mean, you might survive on the battlefield, but you might die on your way home.
It's kind of funny because it's such a beautiful map, so peaceful, and you have all this death and executions that are happening. So it's a nice little parallel you got going on here.
There's a big contrast between what is supposed to be and what actually happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Inside it. It's.
And so, did you guys find, in terms of the development process for this map, that it evolved a lot over time, or pretty much from the get-go, you guys were pretty set on the vision for this map?
No, but when we worked with Gobo, they proposed us. Actually, it was ideas that we had for a long time, but they proposed us that pitch of like having all those platforms, attached to those trees that you could do a lot of back and forth, and we really fell in love with this idea. And actually, very fast they managed to come up with a very strong prototype, and we almost agreed in the first like a few days. And after that, it was clear for us that was about to be one of the best tribute maps. So and we were super proud of what they did. And so that's it. You have those. You have the other things that you always fight. You can always go on top of the buildings, on top of the roof, so, which is something nice because wherever you are, you can see.
Here, people are complaining about it being for tribute, and they just said duels, brawls, elimination.
Which I'll probably experience firsthand.
I only play duels and brawls. And if elimination was alive, I'd play that.
For you guys that really stand out in this map, or that make for really
I don't play Dominion or Breach much anymore because it just isn't worth it.
Actually, yes,
it takes too
one
long.
In particular, I like to point out in this map that when we were designing this map, when we were looking at the dual locations for it. So obviously, you have your 3 dual locations, and 2 of those take place in your general layout where most of every other game mode takes place in. But one of them specifically that we noticed was that Studio Gobo had this really cool bridge in kind of the vista area of the map, and it was really beautiful and breathtaking that we decided that why not make that area specifically available only in duel.
So only in duel can you go into that specific area.
So we made an exception this time.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's that bridge you see in the background there.
nice.
But it was the effort because people, when they're gonna play, they will really enjoy the view from there. So super nice.
Well, awesome. Do you guys have any ending notes before we get on to the next segment, which we're actually going to be playing on this map when showcasing?
I'm really looking forward to you guys playing this.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to die a lot. I can't wait. But that's pretty much it. And we also have a really cool strategic or tactical map video that will be showing basically all of the elements that goes behind the new map, the Canopy. So let's roll that.
Canopy is a new tribute map, coming out with the release of our new season of For Honor, Sakura. Canopy is the source of many legends. One is about a group of samurai settlers who had fled there and used the landscape to triumph over 1,000 enemies. Another tale speaks of a mysterious deity that gave birth to the sacred grove before turning to stone. Let's take a closer look at how Tribute Mode is set up in this new map. The defending team begins at the temple and will work their way towards the offerings locations. The attacking team has broken through the entrance gates and will find many paths towards the offerings from there. Like all Tribute maps, Canopy has 3 offerings. You will find one at the base of the praying tree. There is one at the center of the map, in the bell tower. This is the nexus of the map, as many paths lead to that location. Lastly, you will need to get to the Eastern Shrine to pick up the final offering. Now let's take a look at where those offerings will be placed once they have been claimed. Here you will choose to place one of the offerings at either the Oracle, the Guardian, or the Vindicator Shrine. The defending team shrines are located near the temple. Similarly, the attacking team will find the 3 shrine locations near the entrance gates. Remember to choose wisely where you place your offering. Canopy will also be available in several other game modes. In Duel, there are 3 different locations. One is located in the bell tower. One at the entrance of the temple. Finally, the last location is only playable in Duel and is located on the bridge crossing over the waterfall. You will also be able to play it in Brawl. It will take place under the bell tower and on one of the bridges. Finally, Canopy will be available in Skirmish and Elimination. Swing on by the Canopy, available on May 2nd for all players of For Honor.
That was clean. Okay, finally, hero improvements and balancing. Sorry about that.
Balancing. When they say balancing, I'm like, okay.
We have a person who does infinite chain heavies. That's balanced. And she has hyper armor per every one.
And insta kills because not like everyone. Bashes are annoying. Bashes are annoying. Nothing can be worse. Sakura is 4th feet to hold my beer.
Which would win? Bashing.
That's like saying like, how would you lose in a freaking joust game with Merlin, King Arthur, and literally Kali? Like, how could you lose?
It's like who would win? Bashing edgy Vortiger or insta kill feed.
Bulwark your insta kill. Sakura, am I a joke to you?
Yeah, you can do that.
I feel like every time that happens, you're just gonna like meme a phrase, am I a joke to you? Oh my lord, I don't want to watch this whole entire thing. Just show me the balancing weapons.
Well, believe me, they took their they take their sweet time, which I'm going to be cutting a lot of this video because they took a while.
So
there we go.
You're allowed to say whatever you want to somebody, and without any regard to somebody's feelings, like myself. So
oh my god!
Fantastic. We're back with our friend Stefan Jawinski.
Stefan, our Lord and Savior.
I don't like you right now because, Jesus. All right, let's get into it. With this new season, we have hero improvements. We're talking Lawbringer. We're talking about the Raider. Let's get right into it. What are you guys going to present to us first?
Lawbringer, please.
All right, perfect.
Yes.
Selected.
Perfect. Season of the Axe continues, I guess, right?
Yes. The
So
versatile weapon becomes more versatile. Is that what we're saying?
Please spam it. Spam it.
More versatile. So what are Lawbringer's good things and problems right now? On live, shove on block is a huge problem. It allows Lawbringer to be defensive as he wants, but also means that opponents can basically do no offense because you block fairly freely and you stop their actually good attacks, which are usually the second or third in the chain. So that's a problematic thing on the character. Beyond that, Lawbringer can counterattack, so that's really good without parry options. Can transform into Bombbringer eventually during the tier.
He's actually obnoxious. He's actually getting me
but
annoyed.
cannot initiate, cannot sustain combat, and that's what we want to take a look at and try to fix today, or I guess May 2nd.
Yeah. Next week. Nice.
So let's go through the painful part. Shove on block removed.
Removed.
That's
completely.
it. Gone. Out.
Okay. Why?
Because everybody wants it.
Okay.
Everybody needs it.
All right.
And
Okay.
even if you don't understand it, it's like same with Shigoki. We took away the armor, the special armor, because it stopped all offense in the game. We need the game to be more offense oriented, so this will help opponents, obviously. So what does Lawbringer get in compensation for this?
Please tell me.
A variety of stuff. Let's start with the new chains. Heavy, heavy, heavy coming. And you see we reach the unblockable finisher as well. That's pretty cool. And we've also got heavy, heavy lights as an option, which is also cool.
That's not going to be used hardly ever.
That's where it gets a little interesting.
Oh,
So the light attacks now are 500 across the board, except for the top lights, which are 400 on the first and second. Oh.
That's fast.
And the side lights are all 500, and the side lights are not interrupted on block.
So they made him faster. Okay.
Oh, you can't. Look.
Exactly.
You
The
have
idea
to parry.
being, once you start
Wow.
attacking, you can continue it. You can get maybe your second hit in, and they have to block. If they block, you get to your unblockable finisher.
Trying to take as many notes as possible because my performances showed I don't know much, right? So just trying to learn here.
You know, you got a whole season to practice, so that's good. What's important? There are a bunch of arcane routes to get to the finisher. Sometimes you get unblockable depending how you got there. Sometimes you wouldn't.
Weapon showcases next, Tyler.
We want that to be
Bring your
the
hype.
big goal of the character. That's why the side lights are not interrupted on block. That's why the top light is pretty quick. All that kind of stuff. So that's what's going on there. Swift Justice finisher. Let's jump around the character a little bit. After any top heavy finisher, or do you want to parry? Or... Top finisher, right? Yeah. Light. Perfect.
Did you see that?
There now, which is pretty cool. Other switch, long arm and impale, impaling charge or parry impale. These can both be interrupted by players in the same way that Shigoki's Demon Embrace or Highlander Caber Toss can be interrupted by players. This is an important thing. We've seen this with those characters be very successful in that the ganking is still effective with Shigoki or Shaman or something like that. But it's a little bit less annoying than it is on live right now, where an impale or something like that or a long arm basically guarantees death as all of your teammates hit this victim and they can't do anything, you just die. So here it at least means there's a little more skill involved in that. So that's really cool. I think shove. Shove. Live Lawbringer used to have a weird mix-up where, like, you could throw a light and they couldn't block it, but you could dodge, but the guard break would catch you, so it was this weird, like, thing. It wasn't that good either. So now we're trying to give shove a regular bump reaction, which means that you get the light after it. It is counted as your second light in the chain, so you're seeing him do shove, light, and he can get to his heavy unblockable finisher, which is kind of now the game plan on the offensive side for Lawbringer.
And so when you're bringing these changes to a character, how difficult is it to kind of make sure that you're keeping the identity of the character itself?
So we think that's critical. I mean,
You
like,
just
that's what we
now you
talked
just
about at
can't
the beginning,
external block freaking
we
Lawbringer.
think of Lawbringer as
Is that
a
good?
powerhouse. Obviously, I mean, shove and
Yeah,
blocker is the epitome of that, but the parry counters
Lawbringer
are
was
really
trash.
the star of the character. The bombbringer aspect, we keep
Monk,
that, of
my
course.
annoying. I have an obnoxious
but you
top
see the
light.
bit of the
Lawbringer.
attempt to have a mix-up.
Oh, my head
we're
bored.
trying to get that stuff working. So it's really keep the special core of the character.
I'm glad though.
And then bring those aspects that are lacking a little bit. We can maybe talk a little bit, since we're talking about the core of the character, the parry changes. Sorry, we're just going to jump ahead. Francis is going to have to randomly jump all over the place. I'm going to do heavy, and he's going to parry it. Light is still good. Top heavy unblockable against the light is guaranteed, and you get the light riposte or light extra hit after that. And the new fun stuff. Make way is now super armor unblockable.
Is that just after the
Super armor.
Or is that always?
That one's just after the character.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool, and should help with what Lawbringer really wants is that I get my parries and I can do something cool. And in a group fight, when people are trying to mess you up, you can actually be, okay, I parried this guy. I'm not as vulnerable as I used to be against a mess of people. So that's pretty cool.
Do you see his role within like a team or anything evolve, or does it stay relatively similar? I know you talked about keeping the identity of the character, so I would assume that you maybe want to keep.
I think it's going to be fairly similar. You're still going to want to try to gank with a long arm and the occasional impale. I think if you end up getting that parry in your fight, you're going to be able to go, okay, I hit. The light, oh, I'm sorry, parry light goes to your second light. So you can continue the chain.
nod.
Light. Yep, so...
That's interesting.
Parry.
Excellent execution, by the way.
Thank you. Light riposte can go to your second light in the chain before it could only go to second heavy in the chain and the first light in the chain. This helps you get a little further into the chain to get to that finisher, of course. Let's jump back to shove real quick, because there's some stuff different on that. Shove in the chain.
Lawbringer is not going to be OP.
Is now
There's
500
nothing
MS.
about this man that's going to be OP.
What else does it have?
I do
It gives
like
you
his
3
options.
lights, and it can be done after any heavy.
So we could
on
say they
hit,
gave him more
on
options.
miss, or on block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he had some slight
You
nerves,
see
like the
miss.
impale and all that, kind of not
And you gotta be shoved.
being able to be
And then
interrupted.
block,
So
whatever you want.
there are some things.
So you can be a bit more creative in what are you going to throw, and really we want to see Lawbringers go, okay, I got a hit, let's throw a second attack of some kind, and keep it going.
So as opposed to before where you felt that the character was lacking that opportunity to do something, it was just more standing back, blocking, that was it?
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely yes. You would get your one free hit from whatever punish, and then you stop.
Okay.
But now we want Lawbringers to keep going through. Is that the long and short of Lawbringer?
Yep.
Cool.
And obviously we're going to have the patch notes ready to go next week.
But I
where
mean,
guys will
even
be
if you
able to
throw lights,
revisit all of
500
these,
milliseconds is like
details.
for a
We
lot of
can head
people
right
an easy
into the
parry.
Raider,
So
who's, also
I
gotten
feel
some
like
love
you're going
for
to
this
start
season.
with the heavy
Let's
because
do it.
a light you might want to start
He's
with the
been
top light, but
demolished,
again, it'll
but
be
now
like
it's
Monk,
his turn
where you
to
just
be
look
demolished
upwards.
in Lawbringer, so.
Yeah.
Right, so here we go, Tyler. Here's on
so
Raider.
Why do we pick Raider? What do we want to do on Raider? Kind of some similar stuff. Raider has some difficulty initiating, let's say. Has difficulty sustaining combat. Can counterattack with dodge guard break, for example. Can do out of stamina bullying with.
Oh yeah, he can.
Raider's Fury, sometimes fainting it, pouring you back into the wall, and can gank in group fights and so on. Right? That's what Raider's doing right now. Again, we want to see the initiation be improved, and again, we want to see the ability to go through the chain and make some choices about why do you go through the chain rather than always going to Raider's Fury.
Oh, hyper arm in the last two.
So that's roughly it.
Hmm.
So how do we get there? We improved the chains. We had 3 on the Raider, so we're going to see light, heavy. Cool. We're going to see
like that.
light, heavy. And finally, we're going to see heavy, light, light. And you might be noticing that all the lights in the chain are 500 ms. So that's pretty cool. You can use them as opposed to.
So you have faster lights.
700 and 10,000. I don't even know. It's so long. It's been a long time since I've seen a Raider like.
Now,
and so for the
I want
below
to see if
average
those
player
like last
myself,
heavy and stuff can
what
go to
difference
start.
does this make in terms of
I would say honestly very little. Watching your gameplay, you're getting hit by all kinds of stuff. So I think a 500 ms versus 600 ms is not going to matter.
You know, I thought I had one ally in this, and I was wrong. But please continue. Please.
It's free, right? Heavy attacks. We also saw second heavy in the chains and the third heavy get super armor. This is really important for us because before you would always do Raider's Fury. What's better than an unblockable versus a normal? Nothing, right? So at least now you get to make a choice of, okay, I will want to trade with my super armor, and you have a real choice between Raider's Fury and continuing your chain through heavies. So that's pretty cool. Heavies also get a big buff. All heavies through the character, including the zones, can be fainted to Garbrick. So soft fainted to Garbrick.
Wait, what?
Heavies can be faded to Garbrick. That's mean.
I watched Alex use it quite a bit, so that was pretty
Soft.
Cool. And what else? The stunning tap can also be is always now 500 ms. It used to be 600 ms.
Oh, look at that. That hurts.
Look at Francis go.
Oh my god.
That's so fast.
It's good, and the very.
I like it.
Yes, thank you. So you can switch up when during your heavy a little bit. Will you be able to launch a stunning tap? So I think you have to.
Tyler, can you see people spamming that still?
Yes, I'm excited.
I can too.
So yes, hopefully everything is dangerous now. Cool.
You can switch the
zone
zone
attack,
to different directions.
You might have seen
Okay.
we also had the problem with two things like understandability and wanting to have a little more options to how do you launch your.
That's good. You need to be able to use two different ways of zones.
From the right, both were 900 ms. There was a big damage differential where we had 28 and 50. We want to keep that aspect of it, but we want you to very clearly understand it's my zone attack, which is now called Raider's Storm. And that will be from the left, and that's your from neutral zone attack. Whereas Raider's Fury will stay from the right.
She wasn't even a good control character. You unlocked and tried to go for your repost, and that's it.
The less damage
You would unlock. You would unlock. You would go
and
for
you
your
will
impale or
understand-
your
or
very
you will
quick
understand-
top light.
You'll have the ability to say, okay, from neutral.
No, the
I'll be able to hit
control
these
character's
guys,
black
and
power
from chain,
should
I'll
bash
be able to
someone
hit
out of
these guys.
stamina.
Just a little more ability to care about your target swapped attacks. So that's super cool.
You can
what
still
else?
do that.
Stampede Charge, thank you, is now interruptible by opponents. Same thing as Lawbringer, same thing as Shugoki Demon Embrace. So it should be a little less annoying in ganks. And
It was
yet
not
we saw
removed.
in
You can
those
just
scenes,
interrupt if
Raider
someone
was
hits
still
you.
able to
Yeah,
be
so someone
effective
can
and
interrupt
people
you.
having
That's
something properly.
that's
So
fine.
hopefully
Yes,
your teammates
that's
are
fair.
paying attention and everything will be all right.
As a Raider main, is that fair to you?
Both characters? I missed it on Lawbringer.
Yeah, may as well go do a little jogging of that.
All right, Raider. Here we go. Second side heavy is now 35 damage, was 30. Second top heavy is now 40, was 35. Side light finishers are now 18, were 15. Top light finisher is now 22, was 15. Side heavy finishers are now 40, were 30. Top heavy finisher is now 48.
Ooh, that damage she's getting though.
And sprint attack, aka reaping charge, is now 35. And gets blocked. Was 25.
I didn't even notice that you were doing all of the moves as the G's.
He's so good.
Next level.
He's like my second half. But yes, with those damage increases, also we can care about like, hey, there's a real reason to use this instead of Raider's Fury in certain situations. We'll quickly go down Lawbringers. Top light finisher is now 20, was 15.
Do you want to do a quick swap just to showcase the
What?
moves again?
Do you want to
know.
show
20 damage, okay.
Yeah.
Top light finisher is now 20, was 15. Side light finisher is now 18, was 15. Top heavy finisher is now 40, was 35. And side heavy finishers are now 38, were 30.
So if Lawbringer has buffs too.
Yeah.
So much more.
Ultra versatile.
Why would you
so
not
awesome.
like
Well, thank you
buff his
guys for your
damage?
time.
Lawbringer looks good.
The next
Raider looks good.
Gameplay feature I do want to,
yes,
before you throw away, if you can, to the next segment, is stance change 100 ms.
Okay, so this is on. This is not necessarily on the Raider and the Lawbringer.
That's correct. That's on all static guard heroes, so not the assassins, not Shaolin, but everyone else. Lawbringer, Raider, Warden, whoever.
How fast you can switch and do
And
stuff.
now switch stance and then launch an attack at 100 ms.
Okay, cool.
Before it used to be 300 ms, so you go like over, wait, and then attack. Now you can just go over and attack.
Okay, nice.
So-
Is there a specific reason why you guys felt the need to change that specifically?
Yeah, you want to be able to throw an attack from the three sides. It's really weird to be a three stance, like trying to threaten from three stances, but these guys can't.
Raider is like gonna be
Assassins
played
could,
a lot by.
and now everybody can.
Okay, well, awesome. Well, thank you again, guys.
Watch me not really play this new
appreciate
character because
time.
the Raider and like Lawbringer so much is better.
I'll just main her.
Roster heroes, if I can call them that way. So that'll be available starting.
To be
next
fair,
week
though,
with the title update
fine,
on
Phil,
May
you know,
2nd
you made
with
this person.
obviously Sakura.
And I'll just take your hammer character.
How dare you? I will not accept that.
I think Lawbringer's still gonna be able to be beaten pretty easily. I don't worry about his lights.
We'll have to look into it.
Season
Yes, our second. It's our second man.
We got a awesome segment coming out for you guys where we're going to be taking a look at the weapons of the Hitokiri. I got my man Anthony, texture artist, to run us through it, and Mike joins us on the.
It's our man Anthony Tyler, the man we all love.
Mediocre Kensei, aka Thick Prosciutto.
How many
mediocre
AKA
do I need? Okay.
Oh yeah, when they said mediocre gameplay, I just died. I laughed.
And also, if anybody out there doesn't know, Mike's handle on a few games is Thick Prosciutto.
Listen, thank you for making that a public information.
Of course,
but
I'm glad I could.
I'm honestly to transition. We're going to be showcasing weapons.
Speaking of cutting,
yeah,
thick
let's
prosciutto.
cutting the prosciutto. Tell us a little bit more about these.
Let's take a look at the
tools.
weapons of the Hitokiri.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Weapon right here.
Okay.
Well,
Ooh.
I like my prosciutto thin. So,
Well,
so
the
I
next
hope-
one.
Yeah, I'm looking at the next one. I'm looking at the next one already.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a little bit about it. So it's called the Ono or Masakari.
The oh no.
That's the
Ooh, I like that one.
Japanese name for it. So it describes a hatchet or an axe. One of these names is used
Oh,
for
next
the
one's a
tool
little bit
itself, the
gold.
other one's for the
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which is which. So
I really like that one. It's not even that
this is the
fancy.
weapon
But...
itself.
No, but it's
Okay,
nice.
That one,
That's
that
nice.
one. That one,
Traditional
next one's
weapon, that's
okay.
The Ono or the Masakari is a one-sided weapon, so the blade is only on
That
one
one
side.
looks interesting.
But for the
Why does the
for,
second one look the best
Hitokiri,
already?
I know, right?
The executioner, so we decided to go with a two-sided blade.
Alright.
Gives a lot more leeway for artistic.
Second one's just the best,
freedom.
apparently.
So far.
Got a lot of surface to play.
Ooh.
Exactly. So we got a lot of surface, as you can see. We can.
I still think the second
create
one's the
So
best.
much, like a really
Still.
different design each time.
That's nice, but second one's still better.
These,
Don't
yeah,
at
these
me.
are absolutely
That one's
incredible.
nice,
I
but
love
the
the
second one's still
design
better.
of all the different axes, and I've also been told that I need to
that
close
one's-
my.
Ooh, that is nice. That is
Something
nice.
That I'd never.
Those just look
never
like it
thought I'd
would-
be told.
Ooh.
But these are beautiful axes.
Oh.
And you integrate some of the story into the axes. As well,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. So what we
Yes.
is we have
Oh, whoa.
the original weapons. So the basic one are more traditional looking, and then when you go
I hate
higher
this
in
game.
ranking, you'll get more of the.
Oh,
story
look at that one.
described through the weapon
I
itself.
really hate
So,
this game for me
it
doing this to
really,
me. I
fits
was
with
slowly
the
moving away
personality
from
of the
front and they do
character,
to me.
and the background of the character also. So you got some really representative demon figures on these weapons.
Yes,
Wow,
nice.
it already
There's
has
a lot
better
of,
fashion than Black.
Oh, look at that one.
The white.
I want that one.
One
Gotta
with the
say,
ivory.
gotta
like
say,
I
that
need
is-
that, yeah.
I want that one too.
The amount of detail that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it would be a clean cut.
My
it looks
goodness.
more painful for some reason.
Oh, absolutely.
With the
definitely
teeth.
be a painful cut.
Our steel is gonna die.
This one right here, absolutely beautiful. Actually, the one
Oh,
that's
that one's
integrated with
interesting.
CGI,
Yeah.
if I'm not
Exactly. So
mistaken.
yeah, this one is the one that's in the trailer. Yeah.
And there's so much detail on this helmet.
Is that the little mask?
Yeah, little head wrap.
Oh,
For
no.
yourself.
So very representative of the character itself.
Okay, can you show me the new like my base weapons? Like
the demon.
Look at that.
Sides of it. It's pretty
well,
beautiful.
That is nice.
One because it tells a story.
I want the one with the whole
It tells the
serpent
story
over
of the
there.
Hitokiri. It shows the
I want. There are a few of them I
has a
want.
bit of that
Soul-
duality. that-
soul collecting vibe.
Yeah, soul collecting.
Second
vibe,
one, and then these few 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These other 9, I want them.
I like the second one a lot.
I know. I said the second one. I said the second one and the other 9.
Darkness to this character.
Darkness.
So cut and dry that this character is so.
Yeah, it's because they actually
so evil.
believe in what they're doing, right?
Right.
So they
Yeah,
think
and
they're doing.
they're enjoying what they're doing.
Now, can you show me the
They say
warden?
that you have the most fun at work when you're passionate about it. So.
That's not a
Yeah,
question.
you'll never have to
It's
work
the
a day
case.
in your life if you love what you
that's
do.
Exactly.
And the Hitokiri clearly love what they do.
Yeah,
We're just chopping off
Yeah, exactly.
heads and soul sucking.
Yeah.
They take pleasure in it, and you can see it through the weapon.
Yeah.
For sure.
And what's your favorite one, Anthony?
The last one, the Bloodstone. I'm a materials guy, so what
The
I look
last
at
one-
is
that one's my
everything
favorite.
that's
Yeah.
inside
Right
and
over
you
there.
get everything.
Yeah.
This Bloodstone is beautiful. It's working really well, and the whole weapon tells.
I
this
actually
big
do
story
like
for
that a
the
lot.
character.
That one
I
right there,
really
that
enjoy
is
this
very
one.
nice.
Super beautiful. I love the color in that handle. Mike, what's your favorite?
Well, we covered the white ivory one,
Yeah.
which is beautiful. But I mean, you take any pick here. Honestly, I feel like they're all effective at what they do.
Yeah.
Which is
well,
which is
especially
slice.
I love the spikes.
That
on
purple
that.
one
Yeah,
right
this
there.
one
Really
just
Yeah.
looks like it
So
hurts
cool.
more. That's
The
why
one
I have
behind
a
it looks
favorite,
really
and it looks
nice.
beautiful. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know what's going on in the middle, but it's scary. So,
So where do you draw a lot of the inspiration for these axes, and how do you build them out? I assume it's a team that you guys work with together that sort of focus on some main themes and then put it all together.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a big team that works on this, and usually what we go for is the backstory of the character. We know what the weapon is. We know the backstory of this character, and we try to
Can you
transcribe
show
it through
me
the
like
weapon.
the base
It
heroes
goes
though?
through
Like I
a
really
lot
like
of-
these, but
a long
I can't
process.
have
Let's say
them.
It takes a couple of months to do this, so we go through design for sure. So the directors will go through the designs.
How do you think I feel right now?
And everybody involved in this, and it goes down to the art in the end. So what you see there's a lot of artists working on this, so a lot of back and forth through ideas and visual, and this is what you get in the end.
Very cool. Very cool.
well, the hard work has paid off. So,
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
absolutely beautiful. Why don't we
Dedicated
at the
by
other
Bash
characters,
Pryor.
Characters.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
We are not done. Those axes look beautiful, but we have.
All right, I'm bracing myself. I'm ready. Oh no, I'm kidding. I'm not ready.
For the other characters.
just like every season, correct?
Yeah.
I am not ready for this.
So these are the weapons for the original roster.
Why did you? But oh,
What?
Not with the warden.
The warden sword, right? So this is as you're usually seeing it.
So when you're creating these weapons for the other characters, what kinds of themes?
Uh-huh.
What kinds of materials and textures that are?
I'm already getting bad feelings.
Itself, but also expands on them.
Yeah. So for these ones, these are usually, since they're not event weapons, we don't go into a specific thematic for these ones. So what we'll do is just it's a creation. So it's pretty much liberty. So you have a more freedom to create these, so you're not constrained inside of an event.
Oh, this hurts to look at.
A collection of weapons. These ones are really to add to your other weapons that you have. So you can either, if you like one piece of this, you can use it. If you like the whole weapon, you can go ahead and use the whole weapon. And it's really to add some more.
Just some more depth and creativity and beauty.
Exactly.
well, I'm glad I won't have
These
to look
are
for those. I
really
won't have to
interesting
do anything
design
with
here
that.
as well.
Great.
It looks like the weapons have been kind of touched by ghosts or demons. And,
Thank you, guys.
very cool looking.
We've been working a lot lately with materials, so we develop new recipes for them, and we are working with the lighting to.
Okay, the
make
black
it, like,
that
work better
that
and
looks
better
okay.
every
That's
time.
not
love
bad.
the wood
That's
on
not
that shield
bad.
when
Yeah,
it's
the
all
charred
like
wood,
charred.
yeah.
It's very cool.
What I also really like is that it's not necessarily every season to go, more flashy. It's more a question of what fits with the character and how does it speak to
what
the
is
specific
this?
maybe players play. And maybe it's more of a minimalist look. Like this one
Yeah,
here
exactly.
is like a relic looking thing,
Right.
not overly flashy, but absolutely stunning when you take a look at it from a closer eye.
And when you talk about mixing materials and mixing textures to build something new,
why don't you
what's
just
that
like
process
wait?
like?
Like
Do
2
you
seasons
kinda
ago
just
was the last time we got a
throw a
decent
couple
weapon.
things out there?
Yeah.
When they gave us armor was the last time I think we got a good weapon, like from
Yeah.
just a normal.
No, usually we go for something specific that we're looking for. It's pretty hard to throw something and make it work. You're not really going to find it appealing to the eye, so you want to try to find that balance for every weapon. So the colors, the type of material that you get. So as you can see here, like you've got paint and wood, then you have this copper, then you have the amber on top there.
It really
it's
just
a little,
sucks because you saw what the
exactly.
actions look like. You're like, wow, those are so godly.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Then you get these little details like these engravings on the handle.
It's like they put all their energy into those axes, and then this is just like the afterburners. It's hurting me.
This one has team color applied on.
I actually don't even want to see Kensei's.
This will vary whenever you change from attacker, defender, or you're in duels.
Exactly, depends on your color swatch. So when you get this weapon, you'll have some team color.
See, Ward at least had green in the middle. There's some green.
That's a Highlander sword.
I love the textures.
What the heck is
that you
that?
put on the blades
What
as
is
well.
that creature?
It makes it look like you can tell like this is a heavier weapon. You can tell which weapons are lighter. It's just
That's shaman, and it does not look appealing at all.
Yeah. On it. Like you can see that these weapons were made by expert blacksmiths.
Yeah,
Yes. Really honing their craft. It's
That's
so
nice.
cool.
Yeah, that's nice that you say this because this one looks like hammered metal. So you know, like it looks like something.
They're just trying to like toot their own ego. Like I get it. Like
bulk
you
that way,
can make good
yeah,
weapons. You've done it before, but these are not good. Sorry.
These ones had a little
What
bit
is
of an
that?
inspiration, a special inspiration.
God,
love
a
the
good
hood.
hilt. Look at his blade. Looks like it's
Yeah, that's pretty
nice
awesome.
rusty blade.
Oh,
So what they did is they took like a certain container. They made it from wood.
What
and
is
lacquer,
that?
It's a lacquer wood. It's a beautiful.
They used the guard from an old blade.
In it, and we got
Orochi's look nicer.
I know, Orochi looks nice.
So the samurai weapons that you see here.
really, really nice.
Well, I don't care about this
Yeah, it
anymore.
looks incredible. You can see I love the subtlety on some of these weapons too.
This
I
one
mean,
is
it's
great.
Really...
This one you get a lot.
Shikoki gets a nicer one.
And, you'll see that this pearl inlay that I was talking about is really
wow.
takes. It is really alive on this one.
Wow.
That's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's like a really beautiful murder weapon.
Oh no, Shinobi, no. Oh, Shinobi.
At least this is beautiful. Yeah, as it hits you in the face.
Oh, Armusha.
No, it won't be clean at all. Be very dirty. What a shame.
Oh.
And we got the.
Just close it.
Oh, the Tiande gets a nice one.
So you really just try and keep the weapons close.
It's got a tiger orange on it. Oh, okay. The shaman gets so nice. Why could you?
And their faction, of course.
Not shaman. I mean Shaolin. Why could you guys give?
That sort of theme of the
I closed it out, so I have to go back over to see what the Tianas look like.
Kind of mix and match and tell their own story.
What's her name? I forget her name. Your JJ gets something nice.
Oh yeah, those are nice.
That hurts. That the Chinese got better weapons.
Oh, you want to know why more legendary
more
weapons
so
for
you can really create
that
your own look for it.
Yes.
I didn't get to see that Tiandi last.
Those are awesome, man. Thank you so much.